Hey, hello there, friends of the internet. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Brian Meert, CEO of AdvertiseMint, and today we're going to be talking about Facebook ads, Instagram ads, some of the latest things that are coming on. If you're just joining us for this live session or you're going to be jumping on here at any point in time, feel free to leave any questions that you have about Facebook advertising in the comments below. Go ahead and drop them in there. If you want to promote your business, what you do, you can introduce yourself, say who you are, what you're doing, companies you work for. I want this to be something that's awesome, and I'll do little shout outs along the way if I can. If you like what I'm saying, feel free to leave some hearts, some likes, send some little emojis across the screen. That always gets me excited, and then we'll see what we can do. So for today, we're gonna move quick. I've got a couple of kind of big updates that have happened this last week in our world. So the first one was there was a writer at TechCrunch that found a new option, which is called Instagram location stories, which is in beta. And he asked a person at Facebook or a person at Instagram, is this true? Is this going to happen? And the person could neither confirm nor deny it. So it sounds scandalous. It's probably true. But here's basically how it works. So anyone now can be able to create a geofilter, or there's geofilters that out there. And geofilters on both Snapchat and Instagram allow you to be able to show your location when you're creating a story. So I have the ability to, be at Disneyland and do a story, and as I look through geofilters, I can be able to put one and be like, oh, look, here I'm at Disneyland. So people have a reference of where I may be. And those geofilters only appear in those specific locations. So here's what happens is now with these new location stories on Instagram, when you add a location, it actually creates or goes to an Instagram page for that location where you can view stories from other people that are happening. So it's like a curation of all the people that are doing stories at that first place. So this is awesome because it now would allow you to be able to meet and connect with new people based on your location. Whereas right now you have to do it based on friends or people that you're already connecting with. Meaning if I'm at Disneyland and there's another person at Disneyland that's doing a story, I might not ever see that because we're not connected. But now I could actually go to Disneyland, look at other people's videos or other stories, and be able to connect with them, comment on them, and be like, oh, I just went on that ride too. Let's go on this ride next. I'll meet you there. Like there's now new levels of connection that have the ability to happen from Instagram and geofilters. So this is super exciting, but this is an update that they're testing now, so it's not available to everyone, but I would expect this to eventually launch and come out. So keep an eye out for it if you haven't seen it yet. If you have seen it, let me know. Tell me what you think. Do you like this feature? Do you not like this feature? What are your thoughts? What are your comments on being able to engage with people from their stories based on their location? Let's see, the next thing that we have, Facebook made a boo-boo. This is a big issue. We got this reported from Facebook, from some representatives there, that they had a known issue in regards to a bug that miscalculated clicks. It was misreporting clicks on video carousel ads. So basically all clicks that were happening on a video carousel ad, so if you're clicking like, it was counting that as a link click to your website. What happens is this is where, as Facebook's become, a more mature platform, they're now being open, they're being much more transparent about, hey, we messed up on this, we're gonna go back and resolve it and offer credit. So you would be affected by this if you were running in the past a video carousel ad. Number two, if you were bidding on link clicks. And the third option would be users who interacted with your ad story, or users who interacted with your ad, but they did it from logging in on a mobile browser, not using the native app. So those are kind of the only characteristics. So, hearing this, it seems like it would generally be a smaller audience size. I think a lot of people use the mobile app to be able to log into Facebook. So it's something that just be aware of. If it does affect you, what happens is Facebook is going to be issuing a credit for these issues that have happened. So if you look under your billing under Facebook, your Facebook Ads Manager, you would probably notice a credit appear with something along the lines of this. So super important to know. But yeah, hopefully it's not a big deal. But if it was there, you guys would be able to see what's going on. Okay, cool. Lastly, that we have is a new feature that's allowed, which allows you it's called conditional lead ads or conditional questions. So if you run lead ads at all for your business on Facebook, it's a fantastic tool. I love lead ads. It basically allows you to collect people's information from Facebook. So they have several questions that are pre-filled with the name, email, phone number that are already selected, and Facebook pre-fills those with the user's information from their profile. Now you have the ability to add up to 3 custom questions to your lead form that you can have people fill out. And this can be specific to your business, and as long as you're not asking people private information like what's your ethnicity or how much money do you make or things like that, what's your religion, then Facebook's okay with letting you ask whatever questions you want. So here's now, but a lot of companies want to be able to somewhat qualify these leads or be able to classify them or add additional questions. And this is where conditional questions come in place, which is basically, it's just a tiered structure. So what this means is, a good example would be like if you were saying, hey, what country do you live in? So you could be running ads to everyone on planet Earth, and you could ask them, what country do you live in? Once they selected, hey, I live in the United States, it then would ask them another question, which would be like, what state do you live in? And then you could be like, oh, here's all 50 states. And then if you wanted to, you can even break it down a level further and be like, what city do you live in? And you'd be like, well, I live in Los Angeles. So the upside here is that, it's very simple for the user. It's basically like a drop-down menu. And, if you've got leads that are going to sales territories or certain areas or being defined or given to certain people, this is a fantastic tool to be able to allow you to show these to, or at least to have the leads be classified before they ever come to you. So to be able to do this, it's pretty straightforward. What you're going to want to do is you're going to go under your Facebook ads, you're going to select the objective, lead generation. Once you do this, you're going to select create a new lead form while you're creating your ads. That's where it shows up. And then you have the ability to select questions where you're entering your questions that you're typing in, and you're going to select add custom question. And once you have that add custom question selected, you have the ability, there's a drop down that will now appear. If you don't see it yet, I would keep an eye out for it, that it may not have launched for everyone. But this is where you'll have the ability that says drop down conditional is what the drop down menu will see. And so what happens is once you have that option, you can upload a CSV file, which will allow you to be able to put in all the classifications of what you want. And that will help you be able to be able to have a conditional kind of format. So when the answers come through from a Facebook lead ad, it would have the country, the state, and the city all listed out, and you could then be able to assign them however you want from within. If you're sending it to Salesforce or a CRM or an email marketing system, you now would have that data to be able to put them into the pools based on where they at. And what's nice too is these are conformed, meaning you're not asking someone to type in Los Angeles because someone could misspell it, or someone could be able to be like, well, I don't live in Los Angeles, I live in Santa Monica. So, those are different things where you're now giving them pre-selected options to select from, which means you can be able to map it much more effectively if you're sending it into a CRM system. So anyway, conditional questions on lead ads is a new tool. Check it out. That's good. Fabio says, which tool? So are you talking, Fabio, about the conditional lead ads, or did you have another question about one of the ones in the past? Just go ahead, tell me what you think right there, and I'll answer that in a minute. Let's see. We have a couple other questions or one question that came back from a previous live video that we did. Okay, Fabio says conditional. So you were wanting to know what the conditional lead ads or where to be able to find it. So yeah, it's under lead ads as the objective. Then when you're down on the ad level, it'll ask you to create the actual lead form. And that's where you look for custom questions that you can put in your own questions, and look for a drop down that says conditional drop down, or drop down conditional. Okay, cool. So one of the questions that I got in the past was in regards to videos that are struggling on Facebook. So when it comes to video ads, you have the ability to there's image ads, video ads. A lot of times we see video ads perform much better simply because there's a lot of moving imagery. You can be able to convey a message. You can do emotional. You can have music, things like that. You can have words that are moving. I think people are just drawn more to videos in general. So what happens is, if you're running a video ad and you're not getting the results that you want, the question was, if my videos are struggling, what do I do to be able to get better results? So there's a couple things that tips that I would give to you guys to be able to improve your video results. So to lead off, it's important to know that on Facebook, people have very, very short attention spans. So on a mobile device, you've got 1.7 seconds before they're going to scroll by. And this is data that Facebook has released, that the average view time on a video ad is 1.7 seconds before they're gone. Also, if you're on desktop, the average view time is 2.5 seconds. So a little bit longer, but not much. Basically, you've got 2 seconds to be able to get your key message to the user before, to be able to stop them from moving on and going on to the newsfeed. And you'll notice this a lot with movie trailers. So, in the past, they would just show a movie trailer, which by default generally starts with like Warner Brothers, and then it starts with the production company Legendary, and then it goes in, this is by second 7, 8, 9, it then gets into the trailer. So by default, these are going to perform horribly on Facebook, because people are like, I don't even care what's behind it, because you're just showing me a logo for 10 seconds. I don't have time for that. So now you'll notice on movie trailers, they'll actually cut it up to where there'll be a lot of really rapid fire, either action sequences or some of the key points for 2 to 3 seconds, and then it will actually go into the beginning of the trailer, which shows Warner Brothers and then Legendary, and then it shows the trailer from there. So the reason they're doing this is because they're trying to capture people's attention first. So I want to give you a couple tips that you can be able to use for your videos to be able to help improve the results. So number one, grab attention in the initial frame of the video. So this is 0.0 on your the actual video as it begins to run. So on the very first frame, you need something that is going to capture someone's attention. And these can be things like something that's shocking, something that's a challenge, something that's going to blow someone's mind, or they would never have known it, or something that's cute, like a little kitten or puppy, or all those sorts of things. You've got, if you imagine walking down the mall and people are coming towards you, if you only had 2 seconds to get someone's attention and have them want to start up a conversation for you, you're going to need to be very creative in what you do. If you just go, hey, people are like, hey, and they're going to walk by. But, if I've got something much more creative to say to them, they're likely to stop, maybe listen to what I have to say. Can I ask you a question? Would you rather, like red or blue, if you had to get something for your boyfriend, or if you had to get something for your husband, what color of clothing shirt would you get? Like those type of things, and now people will engage with you because they're like, oh, you wanted to know my opinion, I'll tell you what I have to say. So that's always important. Another thing that you can do is display a key message. So whatever your product or your service is, or whatever it is you're trying to get a point, display that in the video within the first 10 seconds, right? So you've got to get that message out to the people. Don't wait till the very end to be like, our product is the best and you need to buy it. You need to, get that message across to people very, very quickly, what you're doing, what's the value to them, why your product or service is going to help their life. Let's see. Also have easy to understand messaging. So this is really important. You want to be able to have messaging that is easy to read, easy to understand, not very complicated. You've got to water it down to like a 3rd or 4th grade level, very simple. I know a lot of times some products or some services can be very technical or very advanced. But when it comes to video, you're just dealing with a short attention span, so you're going to need to keep it very short and make sure that the messaging is very easily understandable. Another thing that you're going to need is have easily identifiable brand links. So these can be things that are identifying the brand, who it is, because a lot of times people are going to wonder, what is this video? And while your logo may appear above the actual video up where the fan page is, sometimes those are different. Sometimes it's very small. Sometimes people click to view the video in full size. So all those options, you want to be able to have an easy identifiable brand links. Another one, it should be understandable with the audio off. So Facebook default videos play by default without audio. They are testing being able to change that or have different, at some level you may be able to turn it on or off based on the settings that you have. But for the most part, it's gonna be with the audio off. And so what you wanna do is make sure that your video is understandable. So this can either be by enabling captions on Facebook or editing your video to put the words actually above or below the video, maybe in a square format. A lot of people use letterbox, or they'll put some words over the top, or fun kind of like moving visual graphics over the top of their video that make it fun to where you can see what's going on in the video and read it even if you have the audio off. Let's see. Another tip is your video should contain narration or feature verbal communication to tell a message. So this is something that, again, being able to tell a story, having someone talking about what's there, having a conversation, a lot of times will work very well. So, having a structure and a plan towards what you're trying to do when you're reaching those people will work a whole lot better than maybe like, hey, I'm just filming and here I am at the beach and I want to tell you about my product. Like, people may look at that and be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or maybe he's not going to be able to get to the point and I'm going to move on. So, having a structure and a clear narration is going to be able to help people be able to understand what you're trying to communicate with them. Your video message should be succinct without overloading on information. So again, remember, you've got a short interaction with these people. If you're going to try to put a 30-minute video up explaining, your product and everything that's going on, it's just unlikely that people will watch it all the way through. We have short kind of interactions with people, so keep your messaging succinct, keep it very clear, and generally you'll get better results from your videos from that. And then the last tip here is your video should clearly display the advertised product. So, show what it is that you're trying to advertise. If it's an app, if it's a product, if it's a service, show what it is so people can visually see what it is that you're trying to tell them or what it is, and they can make the correlation between some of the benefits and some of the features that they might have for that product. So those are kind of it for some of my tips. Fabio had another question, which is how long should my videos be on Facebook? So what they've said, at least Facebook has reported back to us, is the average view time for a video is 15 seconds. So that's kind of something to keep in mind, that's on average how long people will watch videos for. So if your videos are 15 seconds, that's going to be an upside for you because you have the ability to, capture people's attention. In terms of Instagram stories, The limit is between 10 to 15 seconds. So if your video was, say, 14 seconds, you could use it for main videos, and you could also use it for an Instagram story if it was in a vertical layout. Instagram has a limit of a minute. So if your video is 1 minute and 1 second, it won't be enabled to play on Instagram. So that's another factor that I keep into place. Generally you want to keep them under a minute because it means you can display them on Facebook and on Instagram. And then, you have the ability to show longer videos. A long video isn't necessarily bad. It's just a matter of being able to have a video that's going to be relevant towards the people that are seeing it and the people that care about it. And if you're doing something that a lot of people care about, the likelihood that they're going to stay, they're going to watch, they're going to engage, they're going to want to comment or get feedback on that is very, very high. So with that, let me see if there's any more questions that have come in. I don't think so. Fabio had some great questions, so thank you very much. If you guys have more questions as you're watching this later, feel free to add them in this video below. And we always go back, look at the old videos, and grab some of the questions out of there for the next ones while other people are writing them in. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you guys later.